that was damaged by the hurricane that is not being used
By the school.
by the school, and they are far away. They have no interaction on a daily basis with the normal school. As a matter of fact, we had provided, you know, sort of protection to fence them off from the normal school.
So it's a big campus, so
Right,
there
it's a
can
big
be
school.
some distance.
Right,
there?
yeah. They're not using the resources of the school, like the water and all that sort of thing. We provide that for them, so there is no interaction with the school. So, as I said, when the president of the JTA spoke about it, I asked the question is, you know, we have not had one of about the 8 or so schools that are being used as shelters. We have not had one report of any incident, any confrontation, any dislocation at the schools. So we are actually working now. As a matter of fact, the numbers in the shelters are going down because almost on a daily basis, some persons now have gone back to their normal way, and we have now started the construction of the units to replace those people in Westmoreland, especially in Petersfield, that whose home has been totally destroyed. So we're actually getting there.
But
And
just before you leave the JTA president, Mr. Malava has accused you and the government
yes,
of being derelict because Melissa happened what? 5 months ago now? October, November, December, January, February, March, almost 6 months ago. And he says you have been derelict and irresponsible and putting the education sector at risk. Yeah? How do you respond to that?
Cliff, I would ask him to substantiate those allegations. Be specific as to what is it he's talking about. Because none of the shelterees are in any location where classes are disrupted. So I want him to bring the facts instead of trying to gain relevance in the latter part of his tenure as president of the JTA. And I want to ask him, isn't there any consideration for those persons who find themselves in that position? You know, and it is not, for me, it is not a discussion that I think we should be having as a country. Because it is the responsibility of government to provide for persons who have been affected by Melissa. And we have been providing for these persons. And the fact is that we can't put these people out on the road. We have to put them in some place where after we have concluded all that is required to place them there, and that is what we're doing. Okay, they are in the schools. Just tell me an incident where the shelterees are responsible for disruption of classes, where any problems.
All right. What is taking you 6 months and more to find a temporary alternative housing shelter for them?
Well, we are building now with Food for the Poor 50 units in Petersfield. We just got in some of the prefabricated homes that just came in over the weekend. And we will be meeting, as a matter of fact, the discussions have already started with Minister Montague and the ministry as to the location of these units. We have been providing a source of support for close to 120 shelterees by paying rent for them, keeping them
in Westmoreland.
Right, yes, right across the country.
Oh.
So Cliff, there is not an issue about the length of time, Chris. Cliff. Melissa came and Melissa was devastating. So it is not something that we're going to just be able overnight to put up something. We're putting in infrastructure, light, sewage, water on the lands that we have gotten from the sugar holding company.
Yeah.
And the work have started, Cliff. So I am not going
So
to be
these
saying
Food for the Poor units,
yes,
50 of them,
50.
yeah, are going to be all in Petersfield or
No,
other
those,
places?
those 50 units are going to be in Petersfield because the
Okay.
greatest number of needs in terms of housing for shelterees is between Westmoreland and a little in St. Elizabeth, with a greater portion
I see.
in Westmoreland. So what we're going to be doing is taking the persons outside of the Petersfield shelter and other shelters in Westmoreland into that Petersfield
I see.
location.
And when is the timeline you have been given for it to be
We're
completed?
looking at the end of April because it's 50 units. We have already
Yes.
put down the foundation, and Food for the Poor is presently on the location. We ran into some, some little roadblock with the MCs, and that have been sorted out. But I want to give the country assurance, Cliff, that despite Melissa might have happened 5-6 months ago, there has been no dislocation of the education system in any of the schools that was used or being presently used as shelters. None at all.
In terms of solid waste management now, you're having a serious backlog in clearing the solid waste.
Yeah, there were about 218 truckloads of backlog of garbage. They have been able, since the last time I spoke on it, they have been able to reduce those numbers significantly. They are down now to probably 190 odd truckloads. And they are working. They are working right across the country. Plus the question of the waste, the hurricane waste, that is also an issue that they have been working with. And I want to commend them because they have been doing a good job, Cliff. Despite the challenges that they face, Cliff, they have been managing, Cliff, and they have been working. They have been doing the job.
How
And,
much waste did Melissa leave?
But at one stage, we were talking over hundreds of truckloads, thousands of truckloads.
Yeah.
And what they have been doing so far, we have been working to clear the areas,
Yeah.
using sites to stockpile and then move it to various locations. And it's going to take us quite a while to deal with the debris management because of Melissa.
You mean get you back to a place where you can be a normal schedule?
Because of the magnitude. And what we do find, Cliff, that a lot of people now, just use the opportunity now. Let me just tear down what I have to put up something. So every day you go out, you find more stuff being deposited out there, Cliff. And they are responding, Cliff, and I'm not saying that we are where we want to be, but we are in a far better position and than previously before. And I want to say, I hear people talking about the country is dirty. I disagree with that, Cliff. 80% of Jamaica or more is clean, Cliff. You have areas where there's a concentration of that kind of breakdown. And even in inner city communities, you find you're going to some inner city communities, it's clean, Cliff. So it's not that there is a lack of. And again, Cliff, what is important in this, Cliff, is that it cannot be just the responsibility of solid waste alone. Persons have to take personal responsibility. Travel waste is a major problem in this country, Cliff. Travel waste. You're driving behind a car.
And you let them
Cliff.
fling out
So
something.
I am putting the country on notice that the Litter Act, the new litter fines, is almost at a stage where we are ready to table it.
So you're not going to enforce that?
No,
Melissa?
Cliff, and I want to tell you.
Tell me after the break. We're up on the break. Stay with us. This is OPM